is that there was turmoil during my love affair with Farrah, a lot of it caused by my family.
Farrah Fawcett and Lee Majors were Hollywood royalty. On the red carpets, beneath the flashing cameras, they seemed to have everything a couple could dream of: beauty, charm, fame, and a love story that captivated the world. Yet, behind all the glamour and the perfectly posed photographs, something far more complicated and painful was unfolding. For decades, Lee Majors remained nearly silent about the dramatic split that would change both their lives forever. Fans speculated, tabloids whispered, but the truth was locked away, hidden behind his reserved demeanor and quiet personality. Now, after years of carefully guarding his feelings, Lee Majors has decided to speak. He reflects not only on the woman he once loved deeply, but also on the emotional journey of building a life in Hollywood, one filled with intense highs, relentless pressures, and heartbreaking lows. The story of Lee and Farrah is not just a tale of fame and celebrity. It is a story about human connection, love, loss, and the choices that shape our lives. The couple's narrative begins long before they ever appeared on magazine covers together, long before Hollywood lights illuminated their faces. It begins in two very different towns, in two very different households, where childhoods and early experiences quietly shape the people they would become. Their eventual meeting, a seemingly ordinary moment at a Hollywood gathering, would spark a connection that the world watched closely for years. Yet what the world saw, glamour, smiling faces, a perfect couple, was only part of the story. This is the story behind the cameras. It is about the quiet heartache of a man who loved, supported, and ultimately lost. And it is about the woman whose charm and talent would take her far, yet whose life intersected with Lee Majors in ways that neither of them could have anticipated. Through triumphs, heartbreak, and decades of silence, Lee Majors' revelation sheds light on a love that once burned brightly, only to fade under the pressures of Hollywood's relentless glare. Lee Majors, born Harvey Lee Urey, entered the world on April 23, 1939, in Wyandotte, Michigan. His start in life was far from easy. Tragedy struck early when he lost both of his parents before the age of 2, leaving him in the care of relatives in Middlesboro, Kentucky. Growing up in a small southern town, young Harvey, or Lee as he would later be known, learned the value of resilience and self-reliance. From a young age, he developed a quiet strength, keeping his emotions close and learning to navigate life with a sense of calm determination. In his teenage years, Lee's focus was less on the arts and more on athletics. He displayed a natural talent for football, impressing coaches with his dedication and skill on the field. His abilities earned him a scholarship to Indiana University, a testament to both his physical talent and his disciplined work ethic. Later, he transferred to Eastern Kentucky University, continuing his athletic pursuits while exploring other interests. But life has a way of rerouting even the most determined plans. A back injury abruptly ended his football dreams, leaving Lee at a crossroads, searching for a new direction in life. It was during this period of uncertainty that Lee began to seriously consider acting. There was something about the craft, the ability to inhabit another character, to tell a story, that spoke to him in a way sports never had. The early 1960s saw him make the bold decision to move to Los Angeles, a city that promised opportunity but also demanded resilience. With his tall frame, strong jawline, and quiet, confident presence, Lee quickly caught the attention of casting directors. He had the kind of screen charisma that doesn't scream for attention but draws it naturally. Those first few years were not easy. He took on small roles, learning the craft, observing seasoned actors, and refining his own performance. Persistence and humility defined his early career, qualities that would later make him a dependable figure in the entertainment world. By 1965, Lee Majors got his big break with the role of Heath Barkley in the TV western The Big Valley. Acting alongside established stars like Barbara Stanwyck, Lee's performance resonated with audiences. His understated presence, quiet strength, and authenticity made him a rising star, someone viewers could believe in, someone who carried a certain gravitas on screen. As the 1960s progressed, Lee Majors continued to build his reputation as a reliable and compelling actor. Unlike some contemporaries who sought the spotlight aggressively, Lee's approach was measured. He did not chase fame for its own sake. Instead, he focused on the work, cultivating an image of calm professionalism both on and off the set. This quiet dedication earned him the trust of producers and directors, who valued not only his talent but his dependable nature. The role of Heath Barkley proved pivotal. It showcased Lee's ability to portray complex, stoic characters, roles that required a blend of strength and vulnerability. Audiences responded positively, and he began receiving more opportunities. By the late 1960s, he was recognized as a solid rising star, not flashy but credible, someone the industry could rely on for long-term projects. This was the era when Hollywood was rapidly changing, with new actors, bold narratives, and increasing media scrutiny. Lee navigated it all with a quiet dignity, focusing on honing his craft and maintaining a professional reputation. His personal life remained deliberately private. Unlike many of his peers, Lee did not attend every social event or seek tabloid attention. He preferred stability, consistency, and loyalty, traits that would later make him a grounding presence in the whirlwind life of Farrah Fawcett. These qualities, while understated, became defining characteristics of Lee Majors, both in his career and in his relationships. Farrah Fawcett was born on February 2, 1947, in Corpus Christi, Texas. From a young age, she exhibited a combination of natural beauty and magnetic personality that made her stand out. Growing up in a close-knit family, Farrah developed warmth, charm, and an ability to connect with others easily, qualities that would serve her well in the world of modeling and acting. During her teenage years, Farrah was active, vibrant, and ambitious. She participated in cheerleading and beauty contests, often winning recognition for her poise and radiant smile. Her collegiate years at the University of Texas brought further acclaim. Named one of the 10 most beautiful co-eds in the country, she began to draw attention from Hollywood agents. Though initially hesitant to leave her home state, Farrah eventually decided to pursue opportunities in Los Angeles, marking the beginning of a career that would steadily gain momentum. Farrah's personality set her apart. She had the rare ability to appear glamorous without seeming distant, approachable without losing elegance. Photographers and casting agents alike were captivated not only by her looks, but by the warmth she exuded, a quality that would make her a favorite in commercials, magazine spreads, and small television roles. Even before her rise to widespread fame, there was a sense that Farrah Fawcett was destined for something significant. Upon arriving in Los Angeles, Farrah quickly began working in modeling and commercials. Her sunny smile, sparkling eyes, and effortless charm made her a natural fit for campaigns, particularly those in beauty and hair products. Television roles and magazine spreads soon followed, steadily building her presence in the entertainment industry. Farrah's growing success coincided with the rise of Lee Majors, setting the stage for a meeting that would captivate the Hollywood world. Her work ethic mirrored Lee's dedication, though her path demanded constant visibility and charm. While Lee's approach was understated, Farrah's required engagement with the limelight, a combination of poise, confidence, and charisma that she handled with ease. This balance between ambition and authenticity became a hallmark of her early career, earning her admiration both on and off the screen. The late 1960s brought the fateful meeting at a Hollywood party. Lee Majors was already recognized for his work on the Big Valley, a rising star admired for his quiet strength. Farrah Fawcett, while still early in her career, was already turning heads with her charm and beauty. Friends at the gathering recall an instant connection between the two, a magnetic chemistry that transcended superficial appearances. Their early interactions were filled with curiosity, shared laughter, and a subtle mutual admiration. Lee, steady and composed, found a complementary spark in Farrah's vivacious energy. Farrah, drawn to Lee's quiet confidence, admired his focus, dedication, and understated charisma. What began as friendship quickly evolved into romance. As Farrah's career progressed, Lee remained a supportive presence, quietly celebrating her successes and offering stability amid the whirlwind of Hollywood life. By the early 1970s, Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett were one of the most talked-about couples in Hollywood. Their relationship had developed from shared admiration into deep affection, culminating in their marriage in July 1973. For fans and media alike, it seemed like a fairy tale. A strong, stoic television star paired with a rising beauty radiating charm and charisma. Lee's career reached new heights as he landed the iconic role of Colonel Steve Austin in The $6 Million Man. The show became a cultural phenomenon, bringing Lee into millions of homes each week. Meanwhile, Farrah Fawcett's career continued to flourish in modeling, commercials, and television. Together, they presented an image of glamour, success, and harmony. Yet behind the public's smiles, pressures began to mount. The couple's demanding schedules, constant media attention, and differing professional priorities introduced strain. While Lee focused on steady roles and consistency, Farrah navigated the dynamic world of modeling and emerging acting roles, balancing ambition with personal life. As their careers soared, maintaining the relationship became increasingly difficult. Conflicting schedules left little time for private moments, and the constant scrutiny amplified small disagreements. Lee, naturally reserved, often internalized emotions, while Farrah, ambitious and in the public eye, faced challenges balancing personal and professional life. The pressures of Hollywood exposed cracks in even the strongest of bonds. Love, admiration, and shared history were no longer enough to shield them from the realities of fame. While the public continued to see a perfect couple, behind closed doors, Lee grappled with quiet heartbreak. A silent struggle that would remain hidden for decades. Decades later, Lee Majors speaks openly about the pain and loss he endured. He reflects on the love he shared with Farrah Fawcett, the support he offered, and the silent sacrifices he made. Breaking years of silence, Lee recounts the emotional journey, the highs of public adoration, the intimacy of shared success, and the sorrow of a love that could not withstand the pressures around it. His revelation illuminates the human side of Hollywood, reminding the world that fame and glamour often conceal profound personal struggles. Lee's story is not merely about celebrity. It is about love, heartbreak, and the courage to reflect honestly on a life intertwined with another person. The journey of Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett is a reminder that behind every public image lies a private story. From humble beginnings, through the intensity of love, the heights of fame, and the depths of heartbreak, their story encapsulates the human experience in the glare of Hollywood's spotlight. For Lee, speaking the truth now offers closure and understanding, a chance to honor what was shared and to acknowledge what was lost. For the world, it provides insight into the delicate balance between love and ambition, public perception, and private reality. Their story leaves us reflecting on the cost of dreams, the endurance of love, and the inevitability of change, even for those who seem to have it all. As the 1970s progressed, Farrah Fawcett's career continued to grow with momentum. She became a recognizable face in national commercials, especially for hair and beauty products, her sunny charm and radiant personality making her a favorite of photographers and casting agents alike. She landed supporting roles in television shows and small films, gradually cementing her place in Hollywood. While Lee's career soared with The $6 Million Man, Farrah's rise brought new attention and new pressures. Hollywood was now watching the couple more closely than ever, scrutinizing not only their careers but their relationship. Farrah's ambition sometimes clashed with the traditional image of a housewife or supportive spouse that the media projected onto Lee. Yet, she remained confident, driven by her passion for modeling and acting. The couple's life was glamorous, but the relentless pace left little time for quiet moments together. Lee, ever supportive, often celebrated her successes in private while Farrah navigated the increasingly public nature of her fame. This dynamic highlighted their differences. He was measured and steady. She was vibrant and constantly in motion. On the surface, Lee and Farrah appeared flawless. Paparazzi photos captured smiling faces, elegant outfits, and the illusion of harmony. Yet behind the red carpet, their lives were far more complex. Long filming schedules, late-night events, and the constant demands of public appearances created emotional distance. Lee's natural inclination to internalize his feelings often left him isolated in his own thoughts. Farrah, used to engaging with people and performing in front of cameras, sometimes found it difficult to bridge the gap between public persona and private life. They both loved each other deeply, but the stress of balancing career ambitions with personal connection became increasingly evident. Friends and colleagues noticed subtle signs of strain. Conversations that were once easy became measured. Moments of joy were often overshadowed by the pressures of Hollywood expectations. The couple's story was no longer just about love and glamour. It was about survival, compromise, and the hidden cost of fame. Behind the smiles and accolades, both Lee and Farrah made personal sacrifices for their careers. Lee's dedication to acting meant long hours on set, leaving him little energy for social life or intimacy. Farrah's rising fame required constant attention and adaptability, sometimes forcing her to prioritize work over personal time. The demands of Hollywood tested their commitment. Arguments were rare but intense, fueled by frustration and fatigue. Moments of disagreement often highlighted their contrasting personalities. Lee's calm, reserved nature versus Farrah's outgoing and ambitious approach. They both understood the stakes: public image, career momentum, and personal pride, but navigating these waters took a toll on their marriage. Yet even in these difficult moments, they shared deep affection and mutual respect. Lee admired Farrah's determination and grace under pressure. Farrah valued Lee's quiet strength and loyalty. Their bond, though strained, was rooted in genuine love and a shared history that neither could easily abandon. To fans, Lee and Farrah seemed like the epitome of a perfect couple. Interviews, magazine spreads, and public appearances painted a picture of harmony, happiness, and style. Yet the private reality was far more nuanced. Long separations due to work, unspoken resentments, and personal struggles often went unnoticed by the world. Lee's later reflections reveal that the contrast between public perception and private reality was a source of frustration and sadness. The world assumed perfection, but the truth was a complex mix of love, disappointment, hope, and heartbreak. Farrah, too, experienced the challenges of living under constant observation, her achievements scrutinized as much as her personal choices. The disparity between image and reality is a theme common to many Hollywood couples, but in Lee and Farrah's case, it was amplified by the intensity of their respective careers. They loved each other, yet the environment around them constantly tested their relationship. By the late 1970s, Lee and Farrah faced a turning point. The pressures of fame, mismatched schedules, and differing priorities made it clear that love alone could not sustain their marriage. Difficult conversations, once avoided, became necessary. Lee's natural tendency to remain silent sometimes delayed these discussions. While Farrah's active engagement demanded clarity and resolution, both realized that their paths, though intertwined for a time, were beginning to diverge. Farrah's ambition required her to step into roles and opportunities that could not always align with Lee's lifestyle and expectations. Meanwhile, Lee's introspective nature made compromise challenging, as he valued consistency and stability above all. The decision to part ways was not made lightly. It involved reflection, heartbreak, and a recognition that personal growth sometimes necessitates letting go. While the public saw a glamorous couple, the private reality was one of difficult choices, emotional complexity, and the bittersweet acknowledgement of love that had reached its natural conclusion. After the difficult decision to part ways, both Lee and Farrah had to navigate life without each other. While divorce marked the end of their marriage, it did not erase the years of love, support, and shared experiences. Lee retreated into his work, finding solace in acting and focusing on projects that demanded his complete attention. His quiet nature allowed him to reflect, process grief, and eventually accept the reality of separation. Farrah, meanwhile, channeled her energy into her career and personal growth. She explored new roles, modeling opportunities, and personal ambitions, learning to redefine herself outside the confines of the marriage. Friends recall that while the separation was painful, both emerged stronger, more self-aware, and capable of handling the challenges of life in Hollywood. Despite the sadness, there was mutual respect. Lee never spoke ill of Farrah, recognizing her talent and contributions to their shared journey. Farrah, in turn, acknowledged Lee's support and stability during the height of her career. Their story was no longer about romance, but about growth, resilience, and the enduring lessons that come from love lost. Years later, Lee Majors opened up about his emotions during and after the marriage. For decades, he had kept his feelings private, guarding the depth of his heartbreak from the public eye. Now, reflecting on the past, he described a mixture of love, pride, and sorrow. Lee spoke of the admiration he felt for Farrah's drive and beauty, the quiet joy of supporting her successes, and the pain of watching a relationship evolve into something that could no longer survive the pressures surrounding it. His reflection was not bitter. Rather, it was a deeply human account of love that could not withstand external pressures. This honesty gave fans a glimpse of the man behind the screen, the stoic, silent figure they had admired for decades. Beyond the roles and fame, Lee was someone who felt deeply, who loved intensely, and who carried the emotional weight of a relationship that had once defined a significant part of his life. Farrah's journey after the separation mirrored Lee's in complexity. She continued to pursue her career while navigating the emotional aftermath of divorce. Though their separation was challenging, Farrah maintained a focus on independence, personal growth, and her professional goals. She later reflected on the lessons learned from the marriage, the importance of communication, balancing ambition with intimacy, and understanding the nuances of partnership under public scrutiny. Farrah's perspective highlighted her resilience and adaptability, showcasing the strength required to flourish both personally and professionally in Hollywood. Friends noted that Farrah remained kind, warm, and approachable despite the difficulties, retaining the qualities that had initially drawn people to her. Her story complements Lee's, offering a fuller picture of a love that was genuine, complex, and ultimately transformative. The story of Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett provides insight into the challenges of maintaining love in the glare of public attention. Fame brings opportunities, excitement, and wealth, but it also magnifies tensions, expectations, and personal sacrifices. For Lee and Farrah, the pressures of Hollywood tested their relationship at every turn, revealing the fragility of even the strongest bonds. Their experiences underscore that love alone cannot solve conflicts arising from differing ambitions, relentless schedules, and public scrutiny. Mutual respect, communication, and adaptability are essential. Yet even these qualities can be insufficient when careers and personal growth demand competing priorities. Through their journey, fans and observers can appreciate the human side of celebrity life, the hidden struggles, emotional costs, and enduring lessons that often remain invisible behind cameras and headlines. Despite their separation, the legacy of Lee and Farrah's relationship endures. They remain emblematic of a time in Hollywood when romance, talent, and public fascination collided. Their love story, while marked by heartbreak, demonstrates the intensity and depth that human relationships can achieve, even under extraordinary circumstances. Lee Majors' calm strength and Farrah Fawcett's radiant energy continue to inspire admiration. Their story is remembered not only for fame and beauty, but for the lessons it imparts about resilience, emotional honesty, and the courage to love fully, even when the outcome is uncertain. In reflecting on their relationship, audiences are reminded that love, ambition, and personal growth are deeply intertwined. The world may witness glamour and smiles, but true understanding comes from looking beyond appearances to the emotional truths that define a life shared with another person. Throughout their marriage and even after their separation, Lee and Farrah had to navigate the relentless attention of the media. Every public appearance, every event, and every comment could be dissected by fans and tabloids. For Lee, who valued privacy and simplicity, the constant scrutiny was taxing. He often found solace in his work, preferring to let his acting speak rather than engage in public commentary. Farrah, accustomed to the spotlight through her modeling and acting career, handled media attention with grace and professionalism. She understood the power of perception and worked to maintain her image while remaining authentic to herself. Yet the pressure of being constantly observed contributed to the strain on their personal lives. The contrast between public persona and private reality became increasingly evident, a challenge that many Hollywood couples of their era faced but few spoke about openly. Despite the challenges, both Lee and Farrah displayed remarkable emotional resilience. Lee's quiet nature allowed him to endure heartbreak with dignity, never allowing pain to dominate his public image. He focused on personal growth and professional achievements, channeling his energy into meaningful work that reinforced his sense of purpose. Farrah, on the other hand, demonstrated resilience by embracing her ambitions and continuing to carve out a successful career. Her ability to adapt, remain personable, and face challenges head-on reflected the strength of character that had defined her from an early age. Both learned that resilience is not just about surviving heartbreak, but about transforming it into insight, maturity, and continued personal development. Their ability to endure, reflect, and move forward highlights a universal truth. Even under extraordinary circumstances, emotional strength and self-awareness are crucial to navigating life's complexities. The story of Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett continues to resonate with younger generations of actors and celebrities. Their experiences offer lessons about balancing personal life with professional ambition, maintaining integrity in the face of public scrutiny, and handling love and loss with grace. Many modern Hollywood couples face similar pressures: constant media attention, demanding schedules, and high expectations from audiences. By observing the challenges Lee and Farrah endured, aspiring actors and fans alike gain perspective on the importance of communication, mutual respect, and prioritizing emotional well-being. The legacy of their relationship is not just in the roles they played or the photos taken at glamorous events. It lies in the lessons they impart about love, ambition, and resilience. Their journey serves as a guidepost for navigating the intersection of personal happiness and professional success. Following their separation, the public continued to be fascinated by Lee and Farrah. Headlines speculated about their relationship. Rumors circulated, and fans often projected fantasies onto their real lives. Despite this, both remained committed to maintaining dignity and authenticity in their actions. Lee refrained from public criticism, choosing instead to focus on his career and personal reflection. Farrah similarly navigated her professional life with poise, emphasizing her work and personal growth over media narratives. Their handling of post-separation attention exemplifies maturity and emotional intelligence, showing that even amid public scrutiny, personal integrity can remain intact. Ultimately, both Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett reached a stage of peace and acceptance. Lee reflected on the relationship with gratitude, acknowledging the love, support, and shared memories that shaped his life. He spoke openly about heartbreak, yet with a tone of understanding and growth, demonstrating emotional maturity. Farrah, too, embraced her journey, finding strength in independence and achievement. She continued to pursue personal and professional fulfillment, understanding that their shared past did not define her entire future. Their story, marked by love, challenges, and separation, illustrates a universal truth: life is a mixture of joy and sorrow, and true growth often comes from navigating both. By finding peace, they honor their shared history while continuing to build meaningful lives independently.